Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching us. Welcome to another episode of Heal, Having Emotional Anguish Lifted. My name is Ogechi, Gechi, whatever. And we're back again to have some deep discussions. As I always say, I don't know if you've watched our previous episodes, which you should catch it, and enjoy them. The conversations we're going to have today may be a bit delicate. So perhaps now is a good time to check and see if you've got children with you, if you really want them to be here while you're watching. I don't know where this conversation is going to go. We're addressing when life happens too. Well, you'll get it in a second. But before we get started, I want to introduce the rest of my team, starting with Sandy. Go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Sandy. I'm a grown adult now, so life is life.
Hi guys, my name is Ruth. And I'm happy to be here.
Ruth is our special guest today in the studio, and you know Reverend Chris, aka Bishop. Bishop, say hi.
Hi. They said I should say hi. So they said hi.
He's going to give us sort of that specialist touch to our conversations, that wisdom, that sprinkle of wisdom, and also just to guide us. Because like I said, we're not professionals in this conversation. Ian, I haven't forgotten about you. Go ahead, tell us. Say hi.
Hi guys, my name is Ian, and like Sandy, I'm a grown adult.
We're all grown adults. We really are. We are. And so today's discussion is centered around the theme of when life happens. We're going to start out with talking with when life happens to relationships. And not just romantic relationships, because I think when people hear relationships, the first thing they think is, oh, boyfriend, girl. No, because there are other kinds of relationships. There's professional relationships, there are ministry relationships, there are business relationships that are not necessarily professional, but there's business. People who do hustle. You understand what I'm talking about. And so we want to talk about when life happens to those kind of relationships and what to do, how to address them, how to approach them, how to sort of navigate what to do next and how to follow through. And we've got questions to ask. You've heard my voice enough. I think I'm going to let Sandy start us out. Go ahead.
So we're asking you the question. Don't be afraid. It's quite simple. And I think, as you said, relationship is not always built on romantic relationship, but of course, if it does apply, do be open and answer to what you think has happened. So my first question is, what is the hardest lesson you've learned about love?
That's deep.
She didn't even
She
She went straight in. Deep dive. Let's go.
Okay. I think from the top of my head, like the first thing that comes to me is when you say you love somebody, it's not about you. It's always about them and how you can make their life better. Because unconditional love is what Christ shows to us. So if you're not able to do that, then you have no business being with somebody.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like the first thing that comes to my head to answer that question.
Yeah. So have you been in love?
Wait a minute.
I think it's a very subjective, answer to give to that question because we're human. There's times where you're like, oh, I think I'm in love with somebody, but it's probably because of something they're doing or something they've done.
Ooh,
and so it's more of an infatuation that you consider now love.
Right.
Because as I said to my first question, love is unconditional. So if those things are taken out, would you still love that person the way you think you do? And love is about commitment. So you wake up every day having to choose that person. So if there's things that if you take out, you can't choose that person, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board.
But does it mean that you don't love the person?
I wouldn't say it doesn't mean you don't love the person. It just means there's things that need to be worked on. So if perchance you do need counseling, both of you, that's fine. But if you don't think this is something that you're willing to like carry on, it's best to just let them know and then let them go.
Okay, so from your experience then.
Yes, from my experience. Yes.
Wow. You just went deep. And that was Ian, please go ahead. Hopefully, I don't know how deep you're gonna go, but these are deep conversations. We're laughing, but these are actually deep conversations. And Ruth, I acknowledge your response. I'm, yeah. Go ahead.
I guess mine is away from the the romantic relationship aspect of relationships. I wanted to know. So normally when we talk about life happening, that is often a metaphor that's used to refer to like an unexpected event that happens in your life and sort of derails you off the path you believe to be on. And my question to both you, Ruth and Reverend, is that in what ways have you seen these relational trials refine your faith and more or less lead you in the path you believe God wants you to go?
Is that to me?
I think, Reverend, you can go first, and then that will give.
All right, because
some
I thought you guys were bombarded. I think sometimes God has a way of, Bible says that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. And sometimes God can use the good, the bad, and the ugly things to sort of steer you into where He wants you to go. So sometimes He will take you through some hard knocks, school of hard knocks, I call it. And it's not, most times what we do is we focus on the knocks and the pain the knocks bring, rather than the lesson that God is trying to teach us. What we need to focus on is not what is happening, because life, like you said, life happens. It just means that we are all in life happens mode, or just come through life happens mode, or about to go into life happens mode. Life is a cycle. It will always come. What we need to focus on is the lessons that we need to learn and where God wants us to be. Sometimes God will take you from a place that you felt there was His will. Yeah. He will take you from a relationship that you thought this was the best relationship. If I don't have this person, I'll die. Yeah. Then you lose the person and you go through this mourning stage or whatever. And then after a while, somebody else comes and then you say to God, oh, thank you that you took me out of that. When I was in that relationship or when I was in that place, I thought it was the best. Yeah. All because we don't know what's ahead. So we just operate in part. So that's all we know. But the Bible says when God appears, then we will know everything. We will know Him just as He's known. We will get to know and understand, appreciate why we went through certain things. I've been through certain things. I felt betrayed. I felt like I'm going to start all over again. What am I going to do? And looking back, I thank God that I went through what I went through, because if I hadn't gone through, I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I needed to learn. Right. I wouldn't have trusted God the way I do now. Do you get it? So it was good that I was afflicted. The Bible says it was good that I was afflicted. Because if I had not been afflicted, I wouldn't have learned. There's a scripture that always fascinates me, that and Jesus learned obedience out of the things that He suffered. So He had to suffer some things to learn some things. So life happening is to teach you something. So what have you learned? I'm not worried about what happened. What are the lessons that you learned from what happened? Yeah. That's the most important thing.
I mean, to that extent, when you talk about these lessons, not everyone necessarily interprets these situations as lessons. They, for some reason, like due to like certain characteristics of theirs, they unfortunately dwell on the negative so much that they find it hard to appreciate the lesson for what it is. What kind of advice would you have for such people?
I would say whatever the issue is, whether be it a relationship, business, whatever, ask yourself, what part did I play?
Ooh.
Where did I get it wrong?
Ooh, okay.
Because if you don't know
responsibility
where you got it wrong, you are likely to repeat.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say, for instance, a relationship that went bad.
Yeah.
It cannot be the person's fault totally.
Right.
There was
If we're
a
being
role-
honest, yeah.
There's a role
Mhm.
you played in it. You know, so if you're always pointing the finger at the person, you haven't learned anything.
Right.
I can guarantee you're going to repeat, because you're the common denominator. So you go to another relationship, you're going to repeat the mistakes you made there, because you haven't learned your lessons. What was my part? What did I contribute to this?
Yeah.
Say, for instance, you were in an abusive relationship. What did you do
Ooh.
to promote the abuse?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because some people lean themselves to abuse because of the way they, it's like, I'm so clingy. I can't do it without you. I can't do this. So the person feels like
Trapped.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's
So
a good word.
then,
That's a good word.
then you get abused, and then you leave that relationship, but you haven't learned your lessons.
Yeah.
You're going to go somewhere, and you're going to, in fact, you're going to attract another abuser because of the way you are. You attract people who abuse you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get?
Yeah.
So until you learn your lessons, you're bound to repeat the mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, whatever you go through, debrief, learn your lessons,
Debrief. Yeah.
then you will be a better person for it.
Sure.
Is it true?
Yes.
Debrief.
I don't know why I'm
I
picking on you.
Debrief. I think that's the key word. Make time to debrief, because life, as Reverend Chris said, as Bishop said, is always happening. Life will continue to happen as long as we're alive. And if life stops happening, then your coffin is ready, right? So really, it's about ownership, owning it, stopping and assessing it, giving yourself time to debrief, giving yourself time to heal, have emotional anguish lifted. Give yourself time to heal, but also forgiving yourself and giving yourself the grace and allowance to start over, to do it again, to keep going, because,
Sorry to cut you.
No, please go ahead.
The thing that you just said, forgive yourself.
Mm,
A lot of times people don't forgive
That's
themselves.
right. Well.
So they go into the next relationship with a lot of anger,
and guilty.
and they don't know where to direct the anger. So they take it on the next unfortunate person without realizing that the person you are mad at is not the one who hurt you.
Right.
It's you.
Yeah.
So until you forgive yourself, you are carrying a burden that you're going to take into your next relationship.
Absolutely. And that's even romantic. I'm thinking now about, like, even professional relationships. I'm thinking of the
It's the
workplace.
same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing.
You know, the workplace, even like every new job, your boss is a suspect because the last one did you kind of, and when life happens and you allow that to hinder your relationship with your new boss, that could be really good for your career or for anything else, really. It affects it. Again, give yourself time to debrief, to heal, to reboot, and to get back, on the wheel, on the runway, and get going.
And I think it's good also to ask for help. I think people tend to try to deal with things by themselves. And if you don't ask for help, how can you then learn? Because someone may have a better perspective of what you're going through just by sharing. So,
I agree. Asking for help, something we don't do very often, if you think about it. We're quite independent-minded these days, and Google has also kept us from asking
ChatGPT
people.
hasn't got all the
We don't
answers.
reach out to people anymore. Everybody's just keying in. What do I do if my eye blinks 3 times instead of 2? Like, what are you doing? Just go call your doctor. Call your doctor. We need to reach out to our networks or people who are around us. I think I want to talk about people and the value that we place on them and how it affects our relationships. Ian, I don't know if you had anything else to say. I have a question I want to ask, and then.
I was going to let Ruth speak as well.
Oh.
Address the first question.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right.
The
I mean, by all means, please, sure, Ruth.
By all
Sorry.
means,
Yeah,
do.
in your instance, in what ways have you seen God use these trials in personal relationships, like outside of, in fact, you don't have to address the romantic ones at all, but it could be your friendships, the workplace, within your family. In what ways have you seen God use those trials to refine your faith and more or less open up your perspective to, the better things that are out there for you?
I think for me, like in the first instance, the first thing I like actually learned is that obedience is like the underlying thing in most of these things. Because similar to what Reverend Chris had just said about, you know, forgiving yourself and all of that, like, because life will happen, but sometimes we are the reasons why life happens to us. Because it's like you've heard something from God and you know that this is what He wants you to do, but in your own, how would I say it?
Wisdom,
you decide that now I'm just going to do the next right thing for me, and that is how we end up in some of these situations. So for me, like, that's one thing that I have constantly seen, that at every point in time I don't do what God has said I should do. As I keep telling people, as for the consequences, you'll go through it. God will forgive you, but you will surely go through the consequences. So that's one thing that I'm actively learning, that at every point in time, make sure that you are absolutely listening to what God has said. Because despite life happening at all points, you can save yourself from certain things that you should not go through, ideally. So, yeah.
Yeah. We definitely, save ourselves from certain things. There's some things we don't, like all experiences, we don't have to have an experience to learn. You can learn from somebody else's testimony, story, or, like, oh, that person said when they did this. Exactly. Yeah, I don't need to go experience it for myself, Right, right? Because you saw somebody go into the air and you talking about their hands are burnt. Yeah. I want to ask a question about the dynamics of relationship. And Ruth, I'm going to go to you first, not because, well, I'm going to go to you first.
We're picking on you.
I was going to say no because, but you are my guest in the studio today, so you are a special guest. And so I just want to ask, regarding relationships, can you tell us about the way that the dynamics of your relationships have changed as you transitioned into the workforce? I know that you're a professional now, you're in the workforce, so you've moved from student relationships to professional relationships combined with ministry. Because I also know that you're major worker, ministry woman, powerful woman in ministry. And so, how have you figured out how to manage the dynamics? How have your relationship changed because you're now in the workforce combined with ministry?
Okay. Aside like backdoor conversations with Reverend Chris, the one thing that has like also really helped me is the gift of discernment. Because going into the workforce, these are different people that you will meet. You've never met them anywhere. So just navigating those relationships, just knowing that, okay, this is how this person is. This is how that person is. There's a certain way you relate to this person in order to gauge how to properly, manage expectations at the workplace. Because at my old place, Reverend Chris knows this, I was a very quiet person. Like, I wouldn't I'll go in, get work done, leave, not try and build any relationship with anybody, just get work done. But at my new place, I'm having to do better so that I can actually have a community of people that I'm working with, so that if I need help, it's easier for someone to, help me. If someone needs help, they can easily come to me, because I don't think this is something I was actively doing at my old place, because I had this mentality of, just go and get your work done, go home. Nobody's your friend here. But you need to understand that we are not silos. We don't live by ourselves.
That's
and so
right.
wherever you find yourself, you need to, as Christ has said, we are the lights of the world. Which lights do we hide under, the bed or under a bush or anything? It needs to be on top. So if I call myself a child of God, I am someone's first instance of knowing Christ.
That's it.
So I need to put myself out there for them to see, because this is just a personal testimony, but since I've been at my new place, someone tells me, oh, Ruth, thank you so much for praying with me. I got my passport, and I'm just thinking, wow, this seems so trivial, but I have introduced the person to Christ. This is someone who's probably not religious, hasn't been to church in a long while, but it's oh, now my manager is saying, please, Jesus. he's not religious, he doesn't know Christ, but he's
Wow.
like
Powerful.
now I'm hearing more of the
Mhm.
word God, Jesus in the workplace, that naturally people don't go to church, they don't believe in God, but like you have people at lunch asking you, okay, so what's the difference between like Pentecostal or baptism? I'm just like, in my head it's like, oh, this is normal questions I'll probably have with other Christians, but like this is a chance for me to also now share Christ. So if there's one thing I've learned is that don't be quiet about your faith. In every space you're in, there's a way for God to help you, navigate, be more discerning so you can actually share Christ. It doesn't always have to be, do you know Jesus? Do you know you're going to hell? Like, no, like there's different ways of going about sharing Christ. If it's not just your character, it's also just by, your lifestyle, how you relate to other people. So that's also very important, how you relate and how you discern relationships. So yeah.
I think it's very important to build a community at work, because you spend a lot of time, majority of your time is spent at work and communicating with people. So if you're not approachable or you're not welcoming, it's very hard to have even cross-functional relationships at work if somebody don't feel like they can approach you and discuss something, especially as well if you're in a department where people need to talk to you to get things done.
Right.
Then you start to create conflict in the midst of departmental. Then these challenges starts, and then you start, well, me, nobody likes me, that type of thing.
So in terms of how it's changed, you're saying that it's made you more sensitive to people's...
Sensitive, more open, more willing to share.
Okay.
Just doing the actual mandate of Christ, which is evangelism.
Without necessarily carrying a placard that says,
exactly.
repent
And I think
now.
another thing I would like to add to that is, like growing up, I'm the kind of person that if something happens, I don't want to say anything. Like I will just, okay, well, this is my fault. Like, let me be quiet. But God has found an interesting way of putting me in a team. So my position is like a conflict analyst. I'm just like, God is funny because me that likes to shut out away from like confrontations. Now that is the kind of work I'm having to do on a daily basis, helping people like resolve issues. And it's like God has an interesting way of like bringing you out of the place and teaching you lessons that you would ordinarily not learn if you just kept to yourself. So yeah. The things we ask God to change, He puts us in those positions to change us. So sometimes when life happens, it's because it's for you to learn.
Go ahead, girl. That's right.
Yeah.
She's teaching us. Yeah. That's amazing. Bishop, I don't know. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
I'm enjoying it. I think. Well, I know a little bit more of the story, background story to Roots, and I can tell you that sometimes what our culture has a way of playing against us, in the sense that we are taught to be seen and not heard.
Right.
So we want to be quiet, we want to just, be in the peripheral. And when you do so, it's almost as if you are fighting against your own growth, because you sabotage, being seen.
Right.
And then there are funny people around who would take advantage of your invisibility and push faults to you because they know you're not going to retort, you're not going to say anything.
Right.
So something goes wrong, they did that, they were at fault, but they'll say it's you because they know you're not going to
say anything. You're not going to fight back.
And then before you realize you're being thrown under the bus, and if you don't learn that lesson, you go to another place, you're going to have the same, because people are the same. I mean, corporate life is such that people will step on you to go to the next level if they have to, and if you're not assertive, you're not somebody who stands your ground to say, hey, I'm here, you'll be walked on. And so you need to learn that the lessons that you don't just do things, you've got to learn your lesson to be a better person for the next relationship or next opportunity you have. So it's great. I mean, she's learned that lesson very well. So I'm very happy about that.
I made it. This conversation is sweet.
Here it is.
Because
we can't always have a tearjerker.
I love it. No, I'm glad. I love it because it's. I'm learning. I'm learning about the steps, the things that are necessary, the things that cannot be skipped, the review, the need for analysis, the need to take time, to say, wait, what happened here? And also the need to take responsibility and ownership for what happened. Because sometimes, it's not the other person's fault. Sometimes I actually did something wrong and I just need to, own it. And be okay to forgive myself. I think beginning of that. I don't know. Sandy, you have more questions or?
Yeah, I mean, with regards to like relationship dynamics, I was gonna ask that what one moment that completely changed your perspective on a relationship, like a friendship, for example, because I was talking to Ogechi prior as well about like when we're in university friendships, and then as we finish uni, everybody's sort of like dispersed. So how have you experienced where you've had to either cling on to a relationship that is no longer serving, and how do you know that this relationship like the due course is done, so like I need to let go?
Wow.
I think for me, at every point in time, I've had to like shed off people, because there's a place you're going, and there's some people you can't take there, because it's like maybe you have this like can-do spirit, like I really want to get this done. Like an example is when I was coming here for uni, and everyone's like telling me, oh, it's so hard to get a job, when you finish you probably have to come back home, and I'm just like, no, that's not the kind of mindset I've been brought up with. And I know that once I'm done with school, even before I graduate, I will have a job. And I had some friends telling me it was not possible, people are suffering. I was like, that's fine. So immediately I know that these people were
minus me, right?
I need to cut them off. So it's just about knowing where you're going and knowing that this person will not serve any purpose at any point in time. It doesn't mean you cut them off. It's just gradually you withdraw, like, how much access they have.
Access.
What you share, because just by sharing so much, they kind of like change your mindset on how you look at things now. So
It's interesting you say that, because I always describe it this way. If you're climbing a tree, for instance, and you have dead weight, you are likely not to go very far. But when you're able to go up and perch on the tree, then you can pull somebody up. So there's some friends, some relationship you've got to shed off now, because you are not at that point yet. You need to climb, because of love, not because of hatred or anything. But I need to go. When I'm there, then I can pull you up.
Right.
So I've got to love and leave you here, but I'll come back for you. And that is what life is about. You've got to learn to say goodbye when you need to say goodbye. There'll be a hello later on, but for now, it is goodbye. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel, I don't owe you any allegiance. For now, let me go. When I get there, I can pull you.
Those are painful decisions to make, right? Because you're like, like letting people go. I never thought that. I know, it's a hard one.
It's hard, but it's not as hard as we make it. Because if you're going to be successful, if you're going to go somewhere, it's not everybody you can carry to a certain place.
I've learned that the hard way.
Some people are refusing to move, and the Bible says that evil communication corrupts all good manners. So there are some people, just by being with them, you will never, if you are with Lot, you will never make the promised land.
That's true.
Because Lot eats a lot, he talks a lot, he's all a lot.
Wow, that's a good spin on Lot. Yeah.
So you can never see the promised land if you are with Lot. At some point, you've got to let Lot go. I know Lot is your nephew, you love him and everything, but you've got to let him go. That's as sad as it is. At a point, you go rescue him, but for now, you got to let him go.
So when life happens, it doesn't have to be final, but it just, for that point in time, it's a to be continued. Are you good?
Yeah.
Ian, do you have any additional question you want to ask?
I maxed out my question.
Are you sure?
100%.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say that assess yourself. In every relationship, assess yourself. Is this the best? Can I do better? What have I learned? What am I willing to accommodate? What am I willing to let go? You know, at every step of the way, you've got to assess. There's some friends, you've got to cut them off. You know, cut them off doesn't mean you're not going to speak to them ever again, but
they're not in your inner.
where I'm going,
Yeah.
I need 3 people.
Yeah.
I need the one who is ahead of me, the one who is
With me.
beside me, and the one who is beneath me. The one ahead of me is to encourage me that if he's gone, I can go. So I need to relate with him so that he gives me a focal point to strive. The one that is by me is somebody that I relate with, that, hey, we are in this together. We can pull together. We're going to go. The one that is behind me is the one that is like giving me more fire that I need to. I can't stay.
Right.
You
gotta move.
I got to move because I need to pull him along.
Right,
So
right.
they are looking up to me. So I've got to move. I can't stay here.
Right.
So I need all 3 people. Yeah. But if you don't fall in one of these 3 categories, then you've got to be on the side for now. Let me get to where I'm going.
Right.
Then we'll talk later.
That's
There are
true.
some people, I talk to them, but on a very superficial, because that's where the relationship ends. When it comes to, I'm into ministry, you are into football. We talk football, you know, and my football love or whatever passion goes up to 1% or 2%. So we'll do that and then I move on. But when I'm talking to somebody else who is where I am, then it's like full blown, you know. So I relate with everybody, but on the need to.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. I think that it's okay to choose. Life is about choices, and at this point in time, I choose you to be the person that I'm connecting with on a deeper or on a more regular basis. And it doesn't, it's not no slight to anybody else. It's just that at this point in my life, you're the person I need to talk to 3 times a week as opposed to once a month, right?
I do have one more question. It actually just popped up while Reverend was speaking. So, you know, I want us to think about relationships within the church and how at times when they get, in fact, most often when they do get fractured, you know, result in some form of hurts, what we typically call or refer to as church hurt. You know, church hurt has gone a long way in, you know, pulling people away, you know, removing people from the body of Christ. And I think recently I was in a space where people were talking about the experiences in the church and the kind of things that happened, the ways in which they felt, and, you know, the results, which was that they no longer felt, you know, not just the need, but, you know, the importance. You know, they no longer felt a connection to, you know, to the church. They no longer saw that it was that important in their life that they needed to be connected to it because of the way in which the relationship got fractured. You know, in many of these cases, these things are, you know, incited by one person. You know, it's not necessarily clear, you know, but we tend to hear these stories come, you know, out time and time again. And my question, also to you, Reverend, is like, in what ways do you feel the church is lacking in addressing these kind of issues? Because you have so many young people in churches these days who, when they experience some of these situations, they don't have an outlet within the church to help them through these problems, and as such, they withdraw from the church. So that's my question.
Okay, so people are people, and a man of God is a man in the first place before the of God. So we have our own idiosyncrasies. We all have our own, you know, mannerisms that may not necessarily be God, like maybe us. So when that happens, let's not spiritualize it and let's not blame it on the church. Do you understand? Say, for instance, if you're close to me, I'll tell you, I may offend you, but when I offend you, come to me, let's talk. Do you understand? I'll be the first to apologize to you because I don't sit at home planning that
I'm gonna hurt your
I'm
feelings.
gonna
Yeah.
really hurt Ian. No, understand? I don't, but things happen.
Yeah.
You get it. Like one day, I give this example. One day I was coming into the church from the foyer, and I just said hello. There were about 3-4 ladies and a guy there. I said hello, and I walked up, and this guy got so offended that I said hello. I looked at this person, I said hello, hello, hello. There were 3 ladies and a guy. I said hello to all the guys. I didn't say hello to him. And so he was offended when these pastors and I mean, when I heard the story, I didn't know I was the person that was being referred to when the story was being relayed.
Right.
Oh.
Wow.
It was like I
Wow.
didn't, because at the time the thing that I was dealing with, it was so heavy, and I just like a quick hello to everybody, and then I straight to the office because I had to deal with something. But this guy got so offended.
Wow.
And I'm not going to go to that church anymore because the pastor. Because not knowing to me and to the guy who was like, this guy is really, really angry at you, so you better go
Do
sort him out.
something.
He had his own issues with pastors before.
Oh,
So it's like,
so it's like
it was like he was
You
looking
just knocked
for
him off.
a reason. And as far as he was concerned, that's exactly what I'm talking
like,
about.
see,
So,
told you. Mhm.
and so I went to, I said, Dada, even to stop to say hello to you guys was an effort. Because what
Because I could have
dealing
walked
with
in
at the
silently.
minute, it was not you I was thinking about.
Yeah.
It was none of you. I said hello to everybody. I think one of the ladies engaged me with a question, and I said something, and then all 3 jumped into. He was quiet. So, but I said, initially, I said hello to everybody. X said this, Y said that, the other said this. You were quiet. I said hello, and I left. It was nothing to do with me trying to look down on you or anything like that. So it was misunderstanding. Sometimes people, misunderstand what somebody's doing and take it to mean something else.
Yeah.
And that creates offense. We are human beings. It happens.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want us to then point at the church just because I stand at the pulpit. So I'm not a human being. I don't have feelings. I don't have. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One guy was cleaning the stage area, and he said, I came and I didn't say hello to him. So he wanted to leave the church because I didn't say hello. But you see, you don't know what I'm dealing with at the present time.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm not I sound very chatty and everything, but really I'm not a very chatty person. So it's like sometimes my natural service, I will just come, I see everybody, I may say something and then walk away because I love my own.
Yeah.
You're quite introverted.
My own spaces. So sometimes I don't want anybody else in my space. I just want to be there, or I'm dealing with something, I'm processing something. I need that 5 minutes by myself, and I'm not in the mood to chat. That doesn't mean that I have anything against you.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So I'm just using one example to let you understand that it could be misunderstanding, it could be anything.
Yeah.
But you don't sit on your high horse and bash the church or bash somebody because of one thing. And because if you are looking for fellowship of suffering, you can pick. I call it fellowship of suffering. If you are looking for somebody's offended and you start offense, you hear, me too.
By the way, and then
because all of us have been offended. What we don't realize is that we also offend the pastor every day.
Life is happening, yeah.
Do you understand? It's that the pastor hasn't got a fellowship of suffering to say that.
He doesn't have the leeway to say these people are offending me.
Because we are human beings, we offend each other. That's the beauty of life. We offend each other and then we love each other.
Right.
I'm the first person I would love for you to come to my office and say, Reverend, you really offended me last week. She's done it a couple of times. You offended me. I'm so sorry.
And I'm like, okay. And that's it. Just for the record.
And for me, that is the type of relationship I like. When you've offended me, believe you me, I'll snatch you into my office. And then
Oh, yeah.
you will get it.
See, I'm not happy with you.
Do you get it? That's how I deal with it. Some other pastor may not deal with it that way. May then go and address it somewhere general.
Right, use it as a pulpit, as a message.
Use it as I don't do that. I don't do that. If it's an individual, I'm not going to take you to my pulpit. You are not that important.
Wow. I had a plan. Yeah.
Do you get it? So everybody, so it's a human thing. So let's not spiritualize it and make it a church thing.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Because the church has been bashed enough.
Yeah.
Pastors have been bashed enough. They're also human beings. Allow them to make mistakes.
Mhm.
They are not God. We are not God. I'll be the first person to tell you I make mistakes all the time.
Okay.
Don't crucify me or the church because of my mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm an individual. Say to me, I didn't like the way you spoke to me.
Yeah.
Or I didn't like what you did. I'll be the first to apologize. I don't have a problem at all. Do you understand? Somebody may, I didn't think you got it wrong. I didn't mean it that way. And now I will apologize first before I try even explaining to you what from my perspective. But when you see my perspective and your perspective, we can now find out, it was a misunderstanding, and then we can move on. So what I wouldn't advise is to look for a group of fellowship of suffering to then amplify the problem, make it into something that is not. And then, because that's what's going in this day and age of social media. One person upset will then throw a certain bonfire, and then it catches fire, and everybody's bashing each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this particular lady who puts a camera, and then this church, even churches she doesn't know about, she'll just go 110 degrees just because she got offended by one place. But what you don't realize is that offense is part of ministry.
Yeah.
If I'm to tell you my offense, yours is a walk in the park. You get it? So I don't think it's right. I honestly, because you are doing a disservice to the church and to God by becoming a finger pointer, because the Bible says that the accuser in the midst of the brethren is Diabolus, who is Apollonia, who is Lucifer, and who is Satan.
I didn't know you had that many names.
It's all in Revelation.
I need to read my Bible. Thank you, Bishop. Before we close out, I just want a quick round of one tip that you use to preserve your relationships when life happens. We're closing out. Just literally give me one tip you use to preserve your relationships when life happens.
I think for me, it's just understanding when it's time to step back. I've learned to let it be what it is. Because some people, you can't chase. You have to let it be. And then in time, if it comes back again, cool. If not, then fine as well. But yeah, I've learned to step back.
Okay, Ruth?
I think for me, it's just understanding that at the end of the day, it's God who has every person's heart in his hand. So if there's anything that's an issue we don't understand, go to God first and ask him, this is the issue I have with this person. Before I even go out and rant or tell them what I'm feeling, I need to ask God, do I even have a valid reason for being upset, or am I just cooking up stuff because of my own assumptions? If God has everyone's heart in his hand, ask him first, what do I do? What do I say? Before you destroy or break a relationship. Yeah.
Okay. Ian?
My tip would be reflection. I learned reflective writing back in university, and it's been one of the most valuable assets I've accrued since. I take time to always ponder over situations I've experienced.
You keep diaries?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Oh, you
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a question.
Discovery.
It was a question. No, I didn't.
I want to come looking.
I was just asking a question. I was asking a question. I'm getting to know you a little bit better. Go ahead.
Tuesday. But yes, it's really helped me just assess situations, looking back at them, things I could have done better, and all in all helps me approach people differently, in an improved manner. So I'd say reflection is always good to incorporate it into your daily habits. So I have time, allotted for that every day. Just chill 30 minutes, think back about the day, my interactions with people. What did I do? What did I fail to do? How can I have done it? How can I do it in a later instance, and so on and so forth.
I'm going to come to you last for a reason. So don't just hold on a second, Bishop. I saw you trying to hold on a second. I'm just going to say that my tip would be to give the benefit of doubt to people. I'm extremely, I can be sensitive. I can be quite sensitive. I can be quite particular about what I want. And so when people don't meet those expectations, I give benefit of doubt. I just say to myself, they don't mean to upset me or disappoint me or hurt me, because this person cares about me. I care about this person. So at the end of the day, I will give benefit of doubt. So yeah, that's my tip for managing life issues when life happens. Anything really. Ian can attest to it even today. I'm like, okay, it's Ian. It's Ian. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And it has helped me. It helps me, and it protects the people I care about. And it also helps me value them that much more, because I know that, it's Ian or it's this person. They'll be fine. It'll be all right. Yeah, Bishop.
I was going to follow on from what you said. Forgiveness. When you forgive somebody, you keep the friendship. If you don't forgive them, you lose the friendship. And Jesus said, forgive me as I forgive those who trespass against me, which means that people trespassing against me is part of life. But then I need to forgive them so that God can forgive me. So forgiveness is what will keep you recovering from relationships and also keep relationship.
Amazing. Well, all too soon, there it is, another episode of Heal. Today's episode was really focused on when life happens, and we've talked about different aspects of life and what we can do and how to kind of address things when life happens. You can get in touch with us with questions. If you'd like to join us in the studio, by all means, get in touch with us. We'd appreciate that. For the next show, let us know. If you have something you want to talk about, if you have something you want us to talk about, let us know. But until then, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Heal. We'll see you next time. And thank you all. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.